10-18. We'll take a timeout, and the festivities resume here on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by the Cadillac CTS, Subway, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and by AT&T.
And welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina. Our second regional semifinal hits the Louisville Cardinals, the third seed, against second seeded Tennessee Volunteers, the winner to meet North Carolina. An impressive winner over Washington State earlier. Dick Enberg along with Jay Billis. Welcome back. Many thought Tennessee was the toughest of the two seeds, and others would argue Louisville the best of the three seeds.
Well, one of the reasons Louisville is the best three seed in this tournament is because of David Padgett. The senior is the heart and soul for Tennessee. Their heart and soul is Chris Lofton, the outstanding shooter, averaging just under 16 points per game on the season, but he has struggled shooting the ball coming into this game. Only 4 of his last 18 from the field, 3 of his last 12. He's got to knock shots down against this Louisville defense.
Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals, they have 2 national championships in their program. McGee, Smith, Williams, Palacios, and Padgett. He's 6'11". Tennessee Volunteers with Smith, Lofton, Prince. Second start, Smith and Chisholm for Bruce Pearl. It's the winningest Tennessee team ever. Tonight's game brought to you in HD TV by HP. And the men with the whistles are Cartmel, Harris, and Pollard. Tennessee in white, and Louisville in their cardinal red. Rick Pitino has beaten Tennessee teams 13 consecutive times. Volunteers with their best ever season, 31 wins, only 4 defeats, and of course the big victory that the whole nation was intrigued by, their win at Memphis, the only loss suffered by the Memphis Tigers. And it's Tennessee with the first chance. They're going to jump it again. Officials don't have a lot of practice in the toss. They'll just go with the Cardinals will get the ball first, and the arrow will belong to Tennessee. Andre McGee, 33. Jerry Smith, 34, with the ball now in the backcourt for Louisville. This is Terrence Williams. Batted away, and this Volunteer team has quick hands. Underneath to Jawan Smith, and off the turnover. Tennessee takes the early lead.
Tennessee forcing the turnover. They force close to 19 turnovers per game. They have a +5 turnover margin. That is a great margin that gives them extra possessions every game. And to start out, Tennessee going man-to-man, and they have been switching automatically on the perimeter.
Here's Padgett, the big 6'11" center. The transfers asthma, but there's no sympathy in that locker room.
Louisville's going to try to get the ball to David Padgett. They run a lot of flares, a lot of dribble handoffs, and oftentimes they'll try to get angles to him in the post or drives.
Jerry Smith on the drive, not there. Chisholm rebounds.
This Tennessee team, an underrated defensive team. They can give you a lot of different looks.
A little push in the back, but Palacio got away with it as the pass intended underneath for Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith, one of the more versatile players in the country, and when Louisville goes to their 2-3 zone, which is essentially their primary defense, Smith can get into the middle of that, and he's a playmaker in the middle of his zone.
Thus far, Padgett playing 20 feet from the basket. Now he moves down along the lane and then back up on top again. He is a point center.
Just an outstanding passer when he gets the ball in the post. If you double team him, he will find open people.
7 on the shot clock. Padgett has it taken away. Another steal for Tennessee. From the wing, it's Jawan Smith, not there. Rebound to Terrence Williams.
What looks like a bad shot for most teams is just the way Tennessee plays. They are an attacking, aggressive team.
Foul's going to be called on Chisholm. And in frustration, he goes to the bench early with 2 fouls. Bruce Pearl, excellent job. 48 years young, 3rd year in Knoxville. 100th game was a win against Butler in overtime last weekend.
I'm not sure any number 2 seed has had a tougher road in this NCAA tournament that Tennessee has. In the second round, they played a very good Butler team that was perhaps underseeded at a 7. 2 teams in that game had over 30 wins apiece. That's extraordinary for a second round game.
Willard Vincent Cruz, Duke Cruz, the 6'7" sophomore from Hampton, Virginia, replaces Chisholm, who lasts only a minute and 45 seconds before he gets 2 fouls.
Full court pressure put on by Louisville. They will show a lot of different defensive looks. And there's the versatility of Tyler Smith, taking the ball to the rim, getting fouled and finishing with the left hand.
Smith, who had the big basket late against Memphis for that win. He's fouled by Paget.
A very nice ball fake. You see the little ball fake. He threw to the right, then finishes the play to his left. Just an outstanding play by a really versatile player, Tyler Smith.
21-year-old sophomore gives Tennessee a 5-2 lead. We'll get out to Phoenix for that second game. UCLA against Western Kentucky. And a strong drive and setup for Paget. McGee sets up the big center. It's 5-4.
Andre McGee's really done a nice job running the point, and a terrific job by David Paget to show some patience and wait for that charge to get to. Likes to press man-to-man. They put size out of bounds. So Duke Cruz guarding it, and they force timeouts and turnovers. Already forcing a timeout for Louisville.
Yeah, they keep track of just that. All the turnovers on the out-of-bounds plays against the opposition. Their defense really tightens the vise. The Volunteers with an early 1-point lead.
Bud Light is brewed to give.
The winner here in Charlotte advances to the Elite Eight Saturday against North Carolina. 55-year-old basketball bon vivant Rick Pitino, the only coach in the country to take 3 different programs to the Final Four. Providence, Kentucky, and Louisville. Took the Cardinals there 3 years ago when Carolina won the national title for Roy Williams.
Does bon vivant means he wins a lot?
He can be anything he wants. When you're in that win column, and well, he has been a winner all of his coaching life after his playing days at UMass. He was a freshman when Dr. J was a senior. Pretty good tutoring then.
Al Skinner, the coach of Boston College, on that team as well at UMass.
A walk-in goal for Andre McGee, and Louisville leads for the first time.
Louisville putting on some full court pressure, trying to make the point guard J.P. Prince in just his second start handle the ball.
Jawan Smith, a great job of catching a tough pass, and then he sets up the easy goal for Duke Cruz.
Tennessee plays in organized chaos.
Outside, it's Juan Palacios. The veteran from Columbia hits the 3. That's
handle the basketball.
Earl Clark is in for the first time for Louisville. You see UCLA Western Kentucky. As soon as that game's ready to tip, we'll switch you out there. Edgar Sosa also into the game for the first time with the ball for Louisville. Here's Clark, a 6'8" sophomore, and it's off his leg, out of bounds. The turnover to Tennessee.
When Earl Clark comes into the ball game, Louisville usually goes to a 3-around-2 alignment, and Clark, a very talented player that has really been on a hot streak over his last 10 games.
3 Smiths on the floor for Tennessee now. Ramar, Jawan, and Tyler. Inside Cruz unable to hit.
Good job defensively by Paget to force that tough shot. Look how he runs the floor, but out of bounds.
Bad pass by Sosa. Let him touch too much.
Sosa tried that a couple of times against Butler when Paget would leak out early after a defensive play. And Paget, when he was at Kansas and a freshman, could really run the court, but injuries have taken away some of that ability.
Chris Lofton's first 3, well off the mark. Long pass to Smith, and he is fouled by Ramar Smith. Derek Carter, the 6'9" sophomore, gives Paget a breather as Louisville enjoys the biggest lead thus far. A 4-point advantage.
Tyler Smith will be very important in breaking some of this full court pressure. Looks like a little bit of 2-3 zone, the primary defense for this Louisville team. And Tyler Smith going to get into the middle. If they can get it to Smith, he's a playmaker in there.
There he is, working on character. Uses the left hand, well off. Rebound to Clark, stolen by Jawan Smith, and then the foul as Tyler Smith goes up for the shot.
You've really got to protect the ball and chin it. You've got to be strong with it because Tennessee goes after it as soon as you bring it down.
They'll be on the line when we return. 4-point Louisville lead. Dickenberg J. Billis back in Charlotte. A reminder to you fans waiting for the West Region second game. Western Kentucky UCLA about 4 minutes away from the tip-off out in Phoenix. You can watch exclusively video at masters.org. At the line for the University of Tennessee is Tyler Smith, a sensational sophomore from Pulaski, Tennessee. 13.7 on the season. He's their top shooter from the floor, 54%, and decent from the line at 71. Misses the first.
Had a great game against Butler where he had 15 points, 8 rebounds, had a key block against A.J. Graves late in the game, and he's a big player.
Long pass, kicks out, and then Sosa with a long pass and a good save by Jerry Smith.
A well-designed play. They stepped a man out of bounds, went long against this Tennessee pressure, trying to get away from a big guy on the ball. Tennessee does a great job of forcing timeouts and turnovers by putting size on the inbounds pass.
High pass again, and that's going to go out of bounds as Tennessee forces another turnover. 33, Brian Williams is into the game for the first time for Bruce Pearl as Rick Pitino tries to walk off another mistake by his offense. 6 turnovers by the Cardinals in just 5 minutes.
Well, if not for the 6 turnovers, when they don't turn it over, they're very efficient. 3 of 4 from the field. They've made all 4 free throws.
Lamar Smith bailed out as he had trouble handling the dribble, but it went off a Cardinal out of bounds.
Knocked away from behind by Jerry Smith, and that's one thing that Louisville does a great job. Their backflow pressure. They can back tip the ball and often back tip it to a teammate to get a turnover.
Brian Williams, he's the freshman from the Bronx who's lost over 100 pounds since leaving high school. Saying early duty because Wayne Chisholm, the starting forward for Tennessee, picked up 2 fouls in the first minute and 45 seconds.
A foul here on Edgar Sosa on a hold. Tennessee running their wide flex offense, getting that flex cut along the baseline.
And Sosa will be given a seat on the bench with his second foul as the starter Andre McGee returns. Earl Clark as well back in. And Preston Knowles, number 2, sees his first action for Louisville. That's a good play by McGee to knock it away for the steal, and here he comes to the offensive end.
McGee, a little fire plug, has really been efficient over his last 15 games. Only 9 turnovers over that period. J.P. Prince trying to use his size, but McGee knocks it away.
Patchett back in, handoff, and a hard handoff to McGee. Earl Clark throws it away. Another turnover for Louisville. That's 7.
Louisville just going too fast. It's almost like Tennessee's switching defense is bothering them. Tennessee's switching every exchange, every screen.
To tie from 3-point range, Tyler Smith. And here's Clark for Louisville. Watch out from behind. He does circle away from Jawan Smith.
Jawan Smith leads the team in steals and is always hunting, but perhaps that hunting left McGee open.
A 40% shooter from outside the line. Andre McGee gets a 3, and he has 7 in the game. A miss at the other end from Lamar Smith, and it's out of bounds to the men in white, the Tennessee Volunteers. A reminder, next Thursday at 8, 7 Central here on CBS.
And Tennessee going a little bit too fast on the offensive end. Although David Padgett has 2 different opportunities to pick up his second foul. Neither one of them called.
Cardinals with a 14-8 lead. Lofton yet to score. He's the tremendous 3-point shooter for the Volunteers. And from outside the arc, not there, was Ryan Childress, who rarely plays in early in this game. Williams bangs his way up the lane, no whistle.
How could there be no call on all that contact?
Patchett got the rebound. McGee for another 3. McGee and 3. That's a nice rhyme if you're a Louisville fan. Trailing by 6, Tennessee on the attack. They're 3 for 10 thus far from the floor. Lofton goes inside.
Lofton being guarded by a very good freshman defender. Preston Knowles has a lot of spring and really a resolute defender.
Number 2 is Knowles, and we watched him in practice yesterday. He's got eye-popping quickness. J.P. Prince, the left-hander, try to bank that one in, and there's a foul underneath against Louisville, and it may go against Palacios.
Take a listen to this collision. as Terrence Williams drives in. I mean, that had to be some sort of foul, whether it was a blocking foul or a charge, as Brian Williams stepped in there. You can't draw that kind of contact without any kind of call being made.
Yeah, they called that an offensive foul on Ryan Childress of Tennessee. Tennessee turns it over from Louisville again. Lamar Smith. Boy, forced that shot.
A lot of contact, but a forced play by Tennessee on the baseline.
Palacios avoids the charge, gets it out to McGee. And it's deflected out of bounds off Tennessee. Bruce Pearl trying to help out the officials, but that belongs to Louisville. Pearl, who had a terrific 4 years at Wisconsin, Milwaukee, he took them to the Sweet 16 and then migrated down to Knoxville. Back on the floor, Jerry Smith for Louisville. And the freshman Knowles, no, he's going to stay in. Tina says, you go back in there. I want to rest Terrence Williams.
And if Louisville could keep a hold of the ball against this Tennessee pressure, their offense has been pretty good when they haven't turned it over.
And meanwhile, Tennessee scoring only 8 points the first 8 minutes of the game, as the Vols have been shut out from three-point range, 0 for 5. Jerry Smith hits the three for Louisville, and the Cardinals open a 9-point early lead.
Jerry Smith is so sound fundamentally. The best shooter this Louisville team has, and when he knocks shots down, Louisville's awfully difficult to beat.
Childress, Lamar Smith, Lofton, Williams, and J.P. Prince on the floor for Tennessee. This is a lineup not often seen by Volunteer fans. Lamar Smith, he was hit, no foul again.
That was against a 2-3 zone put on by Louisville, and Tennessee has to do a better job of moving the ball, moving themselves to find openings.
Palacios has Louisville with the ball and currently in the midst of an 11-1 run. Inside to Character with the left hand. It's a 13-1 run. Bruce Pearl's going to call time. Yet to make a three-point shot. And even though Louisville has turned the ball over 8 times, they've moved into a 19-8 lead.
Louisville is shooting 60%, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. Their defense has been solid. They've been switching things up, showing some full court pressure, dropping back into man, dropping back into a 2-3 zone. And it's been tough for Tennessee to figure out.
Tennessee in a drought. And there's a turnover of J.P. The winner to the Elite Eight. We approach the midpoint of the first 20-minute period here in Charlotte, with Louisville enjoying an early 11-point lead. With the early fouls, Wayne Chisholm going out to 1:45 into the game. It almost seemed to throw the tempo, the rhythm away for Tennessee, and Bruce Pearl using different lineups and haven't been able to find anyone to score.
Well, Wayne Chisholm's the type of player that can step away, knock down a 3 from the perimeter, draw a big guy away from the basket, but they've also had difficulty guarding in the post.
That's going to be a travel against Jerry Smith of Louisville.
It's their 9th turnover on the game and still up 11.
Tennessee, meanwhile, Jay Billis has not hit a field goal in 7 minutes. Louisville's Cardinals in red here in Charlotte against Tennessee, and an 11-point lead, 19-8, as their defense has really shut down the Volunteers. It may be a cliche, but it's also a basketball theorem. You've got to make shots, and Tennessee is not. And Lofton, their best threat, has only taken 1 field goal attempt. There's his second, and he doesn't hit the 3. The tip not there. And McGee of the Cardinals.
Well, even in a 2-3 zone, it is such an active zone, but Louisville does a very good job of rebounding out of it.
Earl Clark can't pick up his rebound, and here's Jawan Smith of Tennessee. A 2-point attempt, not there. Smith got away with a push-off. Jerry Smith of Louisville.
Showing his strength, just discarding J.P. Prince. And even though Louisville's turned it over 9 times, they've been so dominant defensively. Tennessee Going a little bit too fast to start the game, but they haven't been able to get anything to go.
Jerry Smith hits another tray. And it's a Cardinals bolting to a 22-8 lead. At the same time, Tennessee has missed their last 11 field goals. Who's going to end the drought for the Volunteers?
Tennessee clamping down on the post, but a terrific pass out by Earl Clark to an open shooter, Jerry Smith. Terrible shot.
Not even close for Tyler Smith. Almost a panic mode for Tennessee as they fall behind 22-8. And here's another goal for the Cardinals as Terrence Williams.
It's Outback's 20.
With a 24-8 lead, Louisville after the bad shot by Tyler Smith. Look how nobody's looking at the basketball. You can see Wayne Chisholm with his back to the ball, and you're going to see Terrence Williams take it all the way in. I mean, you don't get that open a shot in layup lines. Chisholm just looking right at his man with his back to the ball. You have to see the ball in transition. This Tennessee team totally out of sync.
An 18-1 run by Louisville as Tennessee, taking a lot of bad shots and not coming close, have not scored in 8 minutes and 16 seconds. And Rick Pitino's charm coaching against Tennessee. 13 consecutive times his teams have beaten the Volunteers. It's off to a huge, surprising early lead.
Tyler Smith using a ball fake there. Ball fakes and shot fakes against this zone will do wonders as Jawan Smith knocks down the perimeter shot after ball reversal.
Almost 9 minutes, and finally Jawan Smith, the senior from Cleveland, Tennessee, nails a three. And the Cardinal lead carved the 13. Jerry Smith tries to answer with a tray. Good save there by Lofton. Ahead to Tyler Smith. Lofton can't get a shot off.
Those shot fakes are very good for this Tennessee team. They're going to get opportunities if they stick with it.
What a pass. And the Smith brothers collaborate. Jawan and Tyler behind the back for the score. Finally, the Volunteers with some scores, so they're playing happily, getting scholarship with zero skills. Can you do that? Well, about as unbelievable as getting real Coke taste and 0 calories. And folks, you can win a $25,000 scholarship from Coke Zero at mycokerewards.com.
I got a scholarship with 0 skills. It's really not that hard.
But how about the calories? Out of bounds as Louisville's Jerry Smith on the pass, can't handle it cleanly, and the pressure on the out of bounds by Tennessee, true to form, creates another turnover, their 10th committed by Louisville in this first half. Nevertheless, the Cardinals by 11.
He's on a 20-year-old double homicide.
Let's go.
Get out of there.
You're going back.
All right, Greg. The Tennessee Volunteers trying to chop into that one sizable 16-point lead for Louisville. That's Tyler Smith, an acrobatic drive, and it's a 24-15 game as the Volunteers with a mini run. They've gone on a 7-0 run, but that quickly ends as end-to-end goes Terrence Williams to score for the Cardinals.
Tyler Smith becoming a playmaker in the zone, not in the middle on that last possession, but on the sideline, able to get all the way into the middle off the dribble, and then Louisville going right over the top of the full court pressure.
Chisholm inside to score, and that's back-to-back goals for him after sitting out for about 7-8 minutes with 2 early fouls. Palacios brings it in for Louisville. 7 minutes to go in the half. The Cardinals by 9. Terrence Williams, one too many hops, and that's a travel against Louisville. Rick Pitino does not agree.
Tyler Smith putting the ball on the floor. Great job by Wayne Chisholm to screen off David Padgett along the baseline, and nobody stepped in to draw a charge or stop the penetration.
Jawan Smith misses on the 3, but Tyler Smith underneath, and he's fouled. North Carolina's Tar Heels, 3 games in the tournament, 3 mighty impressive wins. They took care of Washington State by 21 tonight, 68-47. They're in the Elite Eight and meet the winner of this on Saturday.
One of the things that makes Tennessee so difficult to play against is they take some shots at odd times, and I think it even surprises the defense at times and opens up some offensive rebound opportunities off long misses, and this team really does chase down offensive rebounds very effectively.
Tyler Smith leading Tennessee with 7 points. Go for 8 as Preston Knowles and Earl Clark back in for Louisville. And suddenly a 7-point game. Clark, Patchett back outside to Knowles. Freshman can't hit. And that's a late whistle, and the call goes against Jawan Smith.
A shot from one corner will go to the other corner.
It's McGee with a long 3, and it's not there. Louisville has committed only 3 fouls, Tennessee 6, so Cardinals will be at the line on subsequent Tennessee fouls.
Louisville going man-to-man on a miss, 2-3 zone on a make. They play most often 2-3 zone. They're very active in it, but you want to try to move Patchett around, get him in some pick and rolls, get him out on the floor where he can't communicate defensively with his teammates.
Jawan Smith on the drive. Patchett with a husky rebound. Long feed to Knowles. He pulls up for 2. Oh, in the scramble for the rebound, it's accidentally tipped in. They'll credit it. We'll see who they do give that basket to. There's Duke Cruz in there battling for the rebound and a whistle.
Looked like Earl Clark was the closest, but it was Tyler Smith that tipped that ball in. You can see number 1 Tyler Smith going up to try to knock that ball away. It looked like it was Clark he was knocking it away from, but he tried to knock it forward and wound up knocking it right into the basket.
Preston Knowles picks up that last foul for Louisville, their 4th team foul, first on Knowles. Cardinals led by as many as 16 at 24-8, and there's the turnover as Tennessee trying to get within a single digit at the intermission. Now trail by 9, 5.5 to go.
Just a simple little cross screen and
kick ball, but no whistle. Chisholm able to use his leg to deflect that pass. Lofton hasn't scored, and they're going to call out a charge on Chris Lofton. And one of the best 3-point shooters in college basketball history, but obviously Rick Pitino's put a big man on him to defend, and now Lofton takes a breather. 0 for 2 from the floor in the game.
He's really been struggling coming into this game. He was 4 of his last 18.
He was in a boot on Monday. He's had a bad ankle foot. He says it's not bothering him. Outside, it's Terrence Williams. He misses the 3. Fast-paced action. Volunteers hurry it into the offensive end. Friends to Cruz. Cruz with a great pass to Tyler Smith.
And a great backside cut by Smith, cutting to the ball, and Duke Cruz found him with a great pass.
Volunteer fans like what they see on the scoreboard. The lead is down to 7 for Louisville. Terrence Williams can't hit the runner. Battles for the rebound, and Duke Cruz is fouled by Patchett.
Take a look right here at Tyler Smith. He's going to get a back pick, come right off it, and he's going to be wide open underneath the basket. Just poor communication by Earl Clark and Preston Knowles, and that allowed Tyler Smith to get the wide open layup. Give Duke Cruz a lot of credit for turning and looking and delivering the ball. A lot of guys look, but not many see, and Duke Cruz was able to see that play as well.
In that last exchange, Patchett started to argue on the foul call, and then he realized that they called him out of bounds, and there's the turnover. Ramar Smith to Tyler Smith.
This game down just 7, had a chance to cut it even further, and you can't have those turnovers. Just deflates you. You work too hard to get back in it to give the ball away that easily.
4:15 remaining before the intermission here in Charlotte. Winner will meet North Carolina Saturday in the Final 8.
Great job by Ramar Smith to put pressure out front.
And the turnover, and Ramar Smith's defense forced it. And it's Smith all the way to score at the other end. The sophomore from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Defense to offense, a one-man show.
The strength of Ramar Smith. The steal, taking it the other way, slapping at it, and still getting it to go with the left hand. What a terrific play by a young man who likes to get to the rim. He's a driver slasher more so than a shooter, and in transition, taking it coast to coast. What a terrific play by Ramar Smith.
And he's fouled by Andre McGee, and he'll go for the three-point play as Bruce Pearl's son, Stephen Pearl, the 6'5" freshman from Knoxville, sees his first duty.
Ramar Smith second on this team in free throw attempts in large measure because he takes the ball to the basket. He is unafraid to get to the rim.
15-4 run by Tennessee to cut the 16-point Louisville lead down to 5. 3:45 left in this opening half.
You just can't relax for 1 second against Tennessee. They just keep coming at you and coming at you.
Another steal. J.P. Prince feeds ahead to Ramar Smith, and it's knocked away by Clark from behind, and it's character all along. Plays back into the opponent's hand.
Well, a little chaotic organization there. This has been a game of reversals. Reversals in the middle of a play. One team has an advantage. All of a sudden, the other team gets a layup.
Steal by Jerry Smith, and J.P. Prince fouls Smith to
Dick and Jay, back to you.
All right, Greg, 3:14 left here in Charlotte in the first half. Louisville wants a 16-point lead down to 7. At the line for the Cardinals is Jerry Smith, their fine sophomore from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And that's his 9th point of the game. Turnovers have been 24 turnovers in this first half. 14 committed by Louisville. Their average on the season for a game is 13. And yet, even with all those mistakes, Louisville managing to lead by 8.
You know, we often talk about toughness in a game like this. And Tom Izzo, coach of Michigan State, often says players play, but tough players win. I think in this game, smart is going to win. The team that shows a lot of smarts, and we haven't seen a ton of smarts thus far with all the turnovers and bad decisions, but smart is going to wind up winning this game.
Tyler Smith unable to hit for Tennessee, and here comes Andre McGee for the Cardinals of Louisville.
Juwan Smith does such a great job putting pressure on the ball.
3 steals in this first half for Juwan Smith, and that'll be a 5 lead on the 2 free throws by Clark. Andre McGee given a breather, and the freshman Preston Knowles, number 2, back in for Louisville.
Back to the 2-3 zone, very active up top with Knowles and Smith.
And that's Juwan Smith from long range. He hits the tray, and Juwan with 8 points for Tennessee, almost a turnover on the inbounds. Up the lane goes Jerry Smith, blocked. And that was Wayne Chisholm, and the foul will be on whom? Going to go against Louisville, and Chisholm for a moment, heart in his throat. He thought he had his 3rd foul. Jerry Smith trying to recover on the rebound, picks up the foul, and for Louisville, that is their 8th team foul. And so to the other end goes big Wayne Chisholm, the 6'9" sophomore from Boulevard, Tennessee. They were the state champions of the Volunteer State 3 years ago. Makes his home in Jackson.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about free throw shooting with regard to the #1 seed in the South, the Memphis Tigers. They shoot under 60%, but Louisville and Tennessee shoots just 66% from the field as a team, and Louisville shoots 64%, and neither one of those teams drop dead from the free throw line.
Chisholm, an all-freshman performer in the Southeastern Conference last year, hits both free throws, and suddenly this game back to a 5-point contest as Tennessee has rallied. They were once down 24-8, a 16-point deficit.
Good substitution by Bruce Pearl to get Chisholm out, bring Cruz in for defense so he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul.
Character inside, can't hit the short bank. What a battle, and Character comes up with it, and the foul against Tennessee.
Work ethic and coachable. And Derek Character had only one of those. That was the talent, but he's really coming around with his work ethic, becoming more coachable.
That's going to be a foul on Knowles of Louisville. Meanwhile, back at the other end, you talk about both teams having trouble from the free throw line, but in this first half, Louisville's made 9 of 10.
This is a physical game. You can see Tyler Smith getting bumped and grabbed, and as he comes across half court. It was Smith who put a little bit into Knowles, but because of the contact, the referees oftentimes are going to call that on the defense.
Tyler Smith misses the free throw, a scramble, and it comes into the hands of McGee. Minute and a half to go before the break. McGee pulls up from 15. Earl Clark unable to hit the short bank. The scramble, and Tennessee wins the battle. Here come the Vols. They trail by 7. And a turnover on Jawan Smith. And that's defensive pressure, hurrying Smith into the air. The 11th turnover, Tennessee.
What great effort by both Tennessee and Louisville. You can see Tyler Smith diving out of bounds to save that ball. And he's got guys really going after it on both ends and really giving great effort defensively.
The two teams combined 21 field goals and 25 turnovers. Who's going to clean up the game, or can you, with an intense defense from both the Cardinals and the Volunteers? Clark for 3. Rebound Pearl.
Louisville's going awfully fast on the offensive end. They need to make Tennessee guard them.
Lamar Smith misses, but Pearl gives the Volunteers a second chance. 42 seconds to go. About a 10-second differential in the clocks. Wow, Lofton hammered as he makes a strong drive to the iron.
Lofton trying to take advantage of a favorable matchup, just going right by Will Scott out front.
Scott just into the game, a junior from Blair Academy, New York. His first foul.
And one of the things you don't want to do when you've got a great scorer and a great shooter like Chris Lofton, who's had a bagel thus far in the game, you don't want to put him on the free throw line and give him the chance to see the ball go through the net a couple of times, to get a little bit of a feel, a little bit of taste of it. You want him to be frustrated. When you put him on the line, you give him a chance to really get his rhythm back.
That's his first point. He led the SEC in free throw shooting on the year, 83%. Hits them both to cut the Cardinal lead to 5, 35-30. He'll take a seat. 35 seconds and 35 8/10 of a second. So both clocks almost in unison here. Louisville, in essence, has a chance to go for the final shot.
Louisville does not want to turn this thing over. They also don't want to shoot the ball too early to give Tennessee a chance to come back the other way and cut this lead even further going into halftime.
Louisville has made 3 of their last 15 shots, down to 17. McGee with 14. Patchett now moves lower down into the hole with 9, 8. McGee around Pearl with 3, spins into the lane and scores. What an effort at the buzzer. Andre McGee. He just took it one-on-one the final 35 seconds. Let me have it. I'll give you 2, and does. And at the intermission, it's Louisville 37, Tennessee 30. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel and company with AT&T at the half after these messages and a word from your local station.
The Tiger Express, a tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Here in Charlotte, getting ready for the second half. Louisville leading Tennessee 37-30. Will return after this message and a word from your local station.
This is not the end. This is not the end.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Coke Zero, Mitsubishi.
And welcome back to downtown Charlotte. 19,000 fans enjoying the first half. Louisville leading Tennessee 37-30. Here now the in-game box score, powered by CBS College Sports Network, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports. Jerry Smith and Andre McGee, the starting backcourt for Louisville, accounting for 18 of the Cardinal points. Tyler Smith leads Tennessee with 10. Story is middle of the game, 18-1 run by Louisville to open a 16-point lead, but Tennessee gnawing away at that advantage, and we start the second half with a 7-point Louisville advantage. What do you see as key for the second half, Jay?
I think poise and being smart are going to be the keys to whoever can win this ball game.
Ready to go now in the second half. 37-30 to Louisville. The winner will meet the University of North Carolina, the top seed, on Saturday in the Elite Eight. Rick Pitino's Cardinals, and Pitino's had a perfect record in the semifinals of the regionals in his coaching career. He's 7-0 in this game's round.
Tennessee shot just 35% in that first half, yet they're only down 7. If they can get a score to start the second half, things can look a lot better, but an easy and clean look for Tyler Smith. He needs to use the board to get that to go down.
Same starters for Louisville. Palacios with a strong move, and then outside to Smith. The guard play was outstanding for Louisville. That shot from McGee is not there. 7-point lead. The only time Tennessee was in front was 5-2 early in the game, but they trailed by as much as 16 at 24-8 in the middle of the first half as Louisville with that explosive 18-1 run. Again, the Tar Heels await an easy win. 68-47 over Washington State. We've got a hold away from the ball. Third foul on Jerry Smith.
Smith just trying to body up on Chris Lofton. Louisville was in man-to-man off the miss. They've been going 2-3 zone off the make.
Lofton well off the mark. I wonder if that ankle foot is bothering him. He just doesn't look sharp, does he? Hasn't been in double figures in the 3 games of this NCAA tournament.
He's now 4 of his last 21 field goals, and that makes 3 of his last 15 from 3.
Bad pass, interception, Louisville. Ahead to Terrence Williams.
Such a versatile player. Terrence Williams, a very good passer, leads the team in assists. Good rebounder, does everything well.
McGee, Smith, Williams, Patchett, and then Palacios on the floor for the red jersey Cardinals.
Tennessee continuing to switch every exchange. That's going to give them some odd matchups, but Louisville has to take advantage of it.
Backdoor doesn't work. That's Jawan Smith, another steal, his 4th. Tyler Smith to Lofton. Good pass, good score. TJ Sprint with a nice kiss off the glass. Down to a 5-point advantage, Louisville.
What a nice pass from Chris Lofton, and Prince, a left-hander, going with that left hand, and he was recruited by Lute Olson to Arizona as a point guard, and now starting to play that position.
Palacios fouled before the shot.
Lofton off the drive, just a little bounce pass, and you can see using the left hand, but also using the rim to shield off Juan Palacios from blocking that shot. Chris Lofton has had a lot of problems. 4 of his last 21, you can see down at the bottom of that graphic. He has not been able to get untracked, and Louisville's done a good job of limiting his catch and shoot opportunities.
That's for a man that averaged 15.5 a game on the season to lead Tennessee. Knowles into the game quickly, the freshman in the backcourt now for Louisville, as Sosa also in there, misses the runner. Here come the Volunteers, down by only 5. All the way, Jawan Smith, that'll be goaltending on Earl Clark of Louisville, and that's a 37-34 game.
Nobody stops the ball. That ball coming down after it hit the backboard, and Louisville not doing a very good job in their transition defense, and Jawan Smith taking advantage of it, really pushing the ball up the court.
Both of these defenses, such quick hands. Look at that again. Jawan Smith, he's all over the court. He's one of the finest defensive players we've seen all year.
Well, he leads the team in steals, and he's such a hard worker, never gives up on a play.
The Tennessee fans love it. They're within 3.
What's that?
And welcome back to Charlotte, where Tennessee has pulled within 3 of Louisville. And there's Denny Crum, the Hall of Famer, led the Cardinals to 2 national titles, 1980 and 1986. Part of the great history of this Louisville basketball program. And, of course, an assistant early on, John Wooden in UCLA. And we sent along our very best to the coach, who's back home finally, and I know that right away builds his emotional and mental health to be back where he's comfortable. Another steal by Tennessee, and out ahead alone is Jawan Smith, and it's a 1-point game. 12 for Jawan Smith. And the turnovers and steals defense have been the story. Jawan Smith a little too aggressive in the block, and Terrence Williams fouled by Smith, his second. Well, Bruce Pearl with a smile says, yes, our offense is organized chaos. Now, the defense could qualify there as well. It is chaotic on the defensive end.
Forcing 16 Louisville turnovers, and Edgar Sosa being taken out of the game. He's not only had foul trouble in the first half, he's had turnover trouble as well.
Once a 16-point lead in the middle of the first half for Louisville is down to a point. 3.5 minutes into the second half.
David Padgett has not touched the ball. He needs to stabilize this Louisville offense.
There he is. Spins on the baseline. Misses the reverse dunk. Tried to go underneath, hit the rim. Gets it back, however.
Good things happen when Padgett touches the ball. He makes good decisions. People can work off him. They know that he can deliver the ball.
Look how empty it is underneath. And finding that gap in the defense is Andre McGee for the easy layup. He has 11 to lead Louisville.
McGee was working off of Padgett. It was Padgett that set that little back pick. So even when he doesn't touch the ball, David Padgett can influence the game by setting a great screen.
Louisville by 3.
2-3 zone now for Louisville.
Lofton still empty from field goal range. Long pass ahead to Earl Clark. He drops it home, and Louisville with back-to-back hoops opens up a 5-point lead.
And how about the outlet pass by David Padgett off the rebound?
Lamar Smith, and the foul, the basket good. Duke Cruz with 2 plus 1.
Not a lot of hesitation by Tennessee. Even after a basket, they push it down the floor. Lamar Smith, the combo point, gets it to Duke Cruz for the finish.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Chevy and by Miller Lite.
Beautiful late night in March in Charlotte, the Queen City. Spring has arrived. As we look at a tournament summary, congratulations. A fine program. They have never advanced to the last 8 in the tournament.
Really amazing the history that North Carolina has had, the success. And mentioned 2004, last time Xavier was in the Elite 8. Thad Matta was their coach.
Oh my, at the end. Williams unable to convert the 3-point play. It remains a 4-point game.
Back to the 2-3 zone. This is a very active zone. A lot of man principles in it.
Jawan Smith pulls up. And there's a push underneath against Tennessee. That's patient, but how can you be patient the way these two teams play defense?
Well, it's hard when you're under pressure, but that's where poise comes in. Got to be strong with the ball and make sure you don't go too fast and rush into a decision. Now, that's a bad play by David Padgett. Just leaned into it. That's an easy call by the official.
And that's his 3rd foul out in the open, where the official couldn't help but see this bump moving into J.P. Prince.
You know, as a big guy, you've got to stay stationary and let your teammates use the screen. And he's too experienced to make a mistake like that, especially when it puts him at risk, picking up his 3rd foul with just under 15 to go in the game.
4-point advantage, Louisville. Tennessee with the ball. 14:40 left in this second half.
Need to get the ball to Tyler Smith in the middle. He's the one that can do the damage.
Passed up a 15-footer. Lamar Smith into the alley, and he can't score. But he gets back and has it taken away by Earl Clark. Long pass, Padgett. Oh my, the big fella outrunning the defense. And it's a 6-point Louisville lead. Paget has his first field goal.
He picks his spots very well, doesn't he?
To the other end, and Tyler Smith has it rejected. That was the freshman, Preston Knowles.
Not a smart play by Tyler Smith. Nothing there. Paget was waiting for him. No need to force that play.
Clark with a solid move to the goal. Earl Clark, and suddenly Louisville, having its lead reduced to 1, jumps back out in front by 8. Duke Cruz forcing the shot.
Just nothing there. Now, there's no reason to get it in the middle and force something over Paget when he is waiting there, and you haven't made him move by moving the ball from side to side.
6 unanswered for Louisville, and they've got the ball looking for more. Clark makes it an 8-point run. And the Cardinal fans are on their feet celebrating a 10-point lead.
And a technical foul on Preston Knowles for jawing right at Tyler Smith. That's a bad play by the freshman.
Knowles. At first he said, pointing to himself, "Is it on me?" And that allowed him to come over and debate. He knew against whom it was called.
Oh, yeah, he knew it wasn't on him, but what he was pleading at first was back. And the referee saw the entire action and called it on Knowles.
You put the best free throw shooter in the conference at the line. Chris Lofton yet to hit from the field, but this is 3 for 3 now at the line. So that negates the field goal at the other end for Louisville. 2 free throws after Preston Knowles with a technical.
You can see Preston Knowles right here. And after this timeout's called, you can see Tyler Smith over here. That's who he turns to and starts screaming. See him right there? And then Smith moves right toward him to say something back. And the referees caught all that action and called it on Knowles. Just an unnecessary action by Knowles that in most instances, if he just screamed at the air, he would have been fine. But when you directed at another player, you're asking for it.
And the turnover is going to go to Louisville, I believe. Last touch from our angle by the Cardinal. No, they're going to keep it at Tennessee. Well, Knowles is an outstanding freshman from Winchester, Kentucky, and when he was recruited, the one knock on him is, and he said, "I'm so emotional," and he showed freshman emotions there. Oh, left alone is Prince, and he's blocked by Clark. That was a golden opportunity for Tennessee to get back within 6.
A terrific play, an outstanding recovery. Terrence Williams, such a great athlete. And it was a terrific move by J.P. Prince to get open.
There's the pass by Paget. That's what you're talking about. The big man.
Valuable he is. Voted by the coaches unanimously first team All Big East.
And Jay Billis was a double penalty for Tennessee. Not only a 3-point play for Louisville, but the 4th foul on Tyler Smith, one of their top performers. And Smith has to take a seat. He's their top rebounder and 3rd leading scorer at 14 a game.
Not sure how long Bruce Pearl's going to be able to keep him out. They need his versatility on the floor.
That was Clark coming out to block Lofton's 3-point attempt.
This Louisville team is so good defensively. They give you so many different looks.
McGee misses. Here's Lofton. And the foul's going to be, and the basket's allowed. The first goal by Chris Lofton in the game.
Edgar Sosa is really having a tough game. The sophomore, solid player, just didn't move his feet to get over. No need to foul on this play. You got to stop the ball, but stop it a little bit earlier. And backpedaling into the lane. And this is not an area where you want to foul and foul so softly to give Chris Lofton a chance to bank it off the glass and move to the lane for a 3-point play.
McGee comes out, and Jerry Smith back in the backcourt for Louisville as Lofton toes the line looking for his 7th point. He's a perfect 4 for 4 from the charity. That becomes a 3-point play. Tennessee back within 8. Ooh, a near steal by Jawan Smith. Terrence Williams skids to a stop. Jerry Smith turned down the 3.
Williams probably got away with the walk, and right now with the over pursuit at times of the Tennessee defense, if Louisville starts using some pass fakes, some ball fakes, they can wind up getting something good.
Character back into the game. Can't get inside. Patchett on the bench. 4 on the shot clock. Terrence Williams to Character. In and out, and he gets it back for a moment. Oh, and a scramble and a timeout called by Lofton as he embraced the ball. 11:29 to go. Bruce Pearl's Volunteers have called time. They have the ball, trailing by 9 with 11:29 left. Back in Charlotte with our game summary. Louisville by 8 and out shooting Tennessee. And you see the Volunteers typically 10 steals. That's about their average per game on the season, but only 1 timeout left for Bruce Pearl.
Well, Bruce Pearl's got to get to the end of the game still with a chance to win it rather than worrying about having timeouts at the end.
They break the pressure, and Prince now will set up the pattern for Tennessee, facing an 8-point deficit. Inside to Chisholm, and a foul. The Volunteers will be at the line when we return to Charlotte. Louisville ahead by 8. And Louisville, so the next will send Tennessee to the line. Tennessee with 5 team fouls. Last foul was on Sosa. This is Palacios coming in for Louisville. They got their big lineup on the court. Here in Charlotte, 11 minutes to go. Tennessee in white trailing Louisville by 8. Volunteers with the ball. Lofton awakening somewhat here in the second half after a quiet first half. That's Chisholm missing in tight. And then it's last touch by Louisville out of bounds by Character.
Louisville had gone to a man-to-man, and Tennessee running their wide flex offense had gotten a nice ball reversal look down low, and that's a play that Tennessee has got to finish. Those are point-blank shots that they've got to put down.
Patino substitute short for tall, and Duke Cruz having trouble handling the ball. Now J.P. Prince will set it up. Tennessee is led only at 5-2 early in the game. 16 points was the big advantage for Louisville in the first half. Lofton takes it inside. Finger roll is partially blocked by Earl Clark.
Athletic play by Clark to make that recovery. It looked like Lofton was going to be able to get all the way to the 10 before it was sent back.
McGee manipulating on the outside, and then Clark showing again his powerful first step. And a foul. Reminder, NCAA March Madness on at the new NCAA.com. Last foul on Derek Character, an offensive foul. As we approach the midpoint of this second 20-minute period with Louisville in front. 52-44 to the Cardinals. Lofton finally free for 3, and he misses that one. Had a good look at it. Tries again from the corner. Another miss. Lofton, a superb 3-point shooter, but he's 0 for 6 from outside the line against Louisville today.
Both opportunities look good leaving his hand, especially the second one, just in and out.
And a check foul goes against Jawan Smith of Tennessee. His third. Patchett on the floor playing with 3 fouls for Louisville.
And as poorly as Tennessee has shot the ball and as poorly as they've executed on offense, they still find themselves down just 8.
Earl Clark has it knocked away, was able to pick it up. Back inside to Clark. And the whistle before the shot. No goaltending. Fans for Louisville wanted it, but the whistle had killed the play before the shot.
Smart play by Louisville to go back inside to Clark on the repost. He lost the ball in the first opportunity and went right back to him.
Third foul on Duke Cruz. 267-pound freshman has the rebound. The dump off to Williams is stolen. Here comes Sosa. And the foul.
Become a more consistent player.
Back to a 10-point lead for Louisville with 9 minutes plus remaining. The winner gets North Carolina on Saturday. The #1 Tar Heels, very impressive in disposing of Washington State earlier here tonight.
Without Tyler Smith in the game, you don't have that playmaker in the middle of this zone.
Lofton inside the line, unable to hit. There's Clark up high for the rebound.
And it's been one shot and out for Tennessee. No offensive rebound opportunities in the second half. At some point, Bruce Pearl is going to have to decide when to bring back Tyler Smith and Juwan Smith to make a run at Louisville.
Inside to Paget. And he is fouled.
Prince with his teammates exactly what to do, and they listen to him.
He's a 65% shooter, but comes up empty on those 2 tries. Tennessee has made only 2 of their last 13 shots. They need somebody to connect. How about Lofton? Finally, it's the tray. Chris Lofton, one of the finalists for the Senior Class Award that will be announced a week from Saturday from San Antonio.
Here's where Tennessee needs to get a stop. Pick up that momentum again. They need to do it on the defensive end.
7-point Cardinal lead. There's the alley-oop to Williams, and the foul.
Williams going up for it. Nice pass by J.P. Prince on the penetration off ball reversal. And when you get the ball to Lofton where he can set his feet and he doesn't have to shoot on the move, that's when he's at his best.
That's a big whistle on Tennessee because it presents double bonus from now on.
And he's had some opportunities for more. At one game where he had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists.
And there's this almost a steal deflected right back to Prince. He's had 2 double-doubles, and in the history of Louisville basketball, they've only had 4, and he's got 2 of them this year.
See that middle wide open against this 2-3 zone, but nobody's in there. Chisholm trying to go in there now. But that's usually where Tyler Smith would be. He's on the bench with 4 fouls.
Well, Lofton setting up for a 3, and he had his pocket picked by Clark. And was timeout called? No, the ball goes off. Chisholm out of bounds to Louisville. That's a big sequence there. Opportunity lost for Tennessee. The Cardinals maintain their lead by 9.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Back to Charlotte in just a second. In Phoenix, the UCLA Bruins still rolling right along. Kevin Love, 8 of 11 from the field, 2 of his 21.
All right, Greg, so it looks like it'll be the Bruins against Xavier for the West Region title and the trip to the Final Four. Here, North Carolina waits either Louisville or Tennessee, and the Cardinals of Louisville have the 9-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go.
Louisville lifting up this Tennessee defense. They've gotten some back cuts, some back picks.
Using a little clock here, and Clark lost it momentarily. Sosa pulls up from 15, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Sosa. No basket, and that'll be all for Sosa, his 5th foul.
Well, a late call, but the right call. Sosa with the discard with the left arm. You can see that's as he's rising up, but he had already discarded the defender, the referee right on top of it, just late.
2 points for Sosa as he is DQ'd on the 5th foul.
Never able to get a rhythm when he came into the game. Picked up 2 in the first half right away, sat most of the half.
So with 7 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in Charlotte. Berth in the Elite 8 of this 2008 National Championship awaits either Louisville or Tennessee. North Carolina, the opponent, the #1 of all the #1 seeds.
This is where Tennessee needs to start its push. Tyler Smith, Juwan Smith back on the floor, and Juwan Smith turns it over right away on a post feed.
Terrence Williams with the steal. Williams with a beautiful move, and the payoff gives Louisville the 11-point lead. 10 for Terrence Williams.
There's too much ball watching by Tennessee. Nobody coming over from the weak side to stop that drive. And this is the one area where I think Terrence Williams can do more of.
Facing Wayne Chisholm. Smith sophomore, is solid. 7.5 points off the bench. It's 1 out of 2. Palacios collects it for Louisville. 10-point Cardinal lead.
Louisville doesn't necessarily want to slow things down. They just want to be deliberate. If you get something early, take it. If not, work off of Padgett and make Tennessee guard. They're in foul trouble. Move them from side to side and then attack.
Padgett on a no-look pass from Terrence Williams, and it's a 12-point advantage for the Birds.
What a beautiful pass by Williams, and again attacking the rim. When he attacks off the dribble, so much more effective and hard to stop.
At 6'6", Terrence Williams has led Louisville in assists this year. Lofton from downtown. Chris Lofton with a big hit. He needed that. It's 60-51 Louisville. 13 now for Lofton, who's awakened here in the second half.
That's not like it was an open shot, but Chris Lofton, his coach Bruce Pearl last year called him the best contested shooter in America. And that was definitely a contested shot.
That'll be a foul on Prince. His 4th.
Williams, the pass after drawing
Sosa out, Knowles in trouble. Tyler Smith and Jawan Smith and J.P. Prince all with 4 for Tennessee.
Well, you don't want to take away the aggressiveness of Tyler or Jawan Smith, but they just have to be smart down the stretch.
Williams misses both. Louisville 5 for 11. Whoa, rough foul by Padgett as he levels the drive of Ramar Smith. Yeah, Ramar Smith, he's not afraid to take it hard to the goal, is he?
Padgett just putting him on his backside, not allowing him to have the easy score. And Ramar Smith, that's what he does. He has shot the 2nd most free throws on this team behind Tyler Smith because of his ability to tap the basket off the dribble.
4th foul on Padgett. Let's see if Patino brings him out here. No, he's going to substitute for Palacios as Earl Clark, who has had an outstanding game, returns. Smith to cut it to 7, misses another. So he's 2 for 5 from the line.
And when you don't convert on free throws, that means Tennessee can't put pressure on full court.
Welcome to Friday morning here in the East. Charlotte, North Carolina, with 5 minutes to go. Ooh, a clever move by Terrence Williams. And his 2nd in rebounds with 7.3 a game. Back to a 10-point Louisville lead. Lofton, it's blocked, but saved by Tyler Smith, and then ripped down on the rebound by Character.
Well, a lot of contact on that shot, but no call. And give Jerry Smith a lot of credit for getting out and recovering to Chris Lofton, taking that shot, getting a piece of it.
4.5 to go. Louisville can be patient if that's in their character. Earl Clark with an easy throwdown, and it's up to a dozen for Louisville. Things looking bright for the Cardinals, who up.
And that allowed Earl Clark the easy finish.
At the line is Ramar Smith. He's now 2 for 6 from the charity.
Some long faces over on that Tennessee bench. There's still over 4 minutes to go. That's a long time in this game.
Another miss. Lofton with a hustle play tried to bat it off the Cardinal Jerry Smith unsuccessfully. So Bruce Pearl now in desperate straits. 12 points down, 4:19 to go. He needs some good defensive stops, some steals, and somebody to come up with a hot hand here late.
You know, the situation feels desperate, and there's definitely some foul trouble that's an issue for Tennessee, but there's a long way to go in this game. A couple of shots drop, a couple of stops, and all of a sudden there's going to be some game pressure on Louisville.
McGee into Character, and he misses the easy bank, but he gets it right back. Scores, and a foul on Chisholm. And he converts a three-point play, has 9 in the game. Again, Louisville showing such great balance as Smith comes out.
And Rick Pitino can shuttle guys in and out off that bench, and the bench has been very productive for Louisville in this game.
Knowles, the freshman, such a good defender, comes in. Every possession precious now for Tennessee. They need to come up with points on each ownership. Lofton and the bump from Clark. That'll stop the clock at the 3:45 mark with the Louisville Cardinals with a sizable lead in Charlotte.
Award. Dayton senior Brian Roberts led the Flyers in scoring and assists this season and was a first-team All-Atlantic 10 selection. He'll graduate in May with a degree in marketing. For more on the Lowe's senior class.
The balance and depth of the Louisville Cardinals on display here in 5 scorers were ranging from 8.5 a game to Padgett 11.5. That tightly squeezed. Nobody really being the big scorer, but everyone getting into the act, and so it has been again here in Charlotte tonight, with Clark leading the way with 15, Williams with 12, McGee with 11, Smith with 9, Character with 9. And the bench has been critical, with Louisville outscoring Tennessee 26-9. Lofton 6 in a row from the free throw line and 14 points in the game. Meanwhile, Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, making quite a rally against UCLA. They pulled within 6 out in Phoenix. And we'll get you out to the conclusion of that game as we follow the final 3:45 here in Charlotte. Terrence Williams sets up Earl Clark, and Clark with his 17th point, leading all scorers.
Clark has had a terrific game, a double-figure rebound game as well, and Louisville's got to get back in transition, protect that three-point line. That's the one area. Oh, bad play, but lucky for Louisville, they didn't get scored upon.
Chisholm hit the 3, and they had a chance for another quick score, but there's the kick by Lamar Smith out of bounds to Louisville at the 3:14 mark.
A terrific pass, but over his last 6 games. Young man's he's got star written all over him. Great talent, and he's starting to understand the game and really assert himself. And his work ethic has really improved.
Double-double for Clark tonight, 7 out of 10 from the floor, 10 rebounds. Padgett has been fouled by Smith. His rebound total. Back to a 14 advantage. Exactly 3 minutes to go here in Charlotte. And for Louisville, 3 minutes to book their spot in the final 8 against the North Carolina Tar Heels. That'll be the late game on Saturday here. 9 o'clock start.
Louisville going with man-to-man to try to take away the three-point opportunities that Tennessee will be looking for.
Clark with his 11th rebound. Williams bouncing into the offensive end. The freshman fires Knowles and does not hit. Not sure Patino was happy with the shot with their lead and the quick trigger from the kid from Winchester, Kentucky.
Yeah, not sure they needed it, but at the same time, Patino probably doesn't want to take away their aggressiveness. What they really want to do now is make sure they're aggressive defensively and don't allow open threes. If they give up a drive, that's one thing. They don't want to give up an open three-point opportunity.
Lamar Smith, a give and go to score on the spin off the glass. He has 6. Breaks the press, and then that'll be a dual possession. Arrow points to Louisville. Well, for Rick Pitino, he's never lost.
1987, when Billy Donovan was his best player. Took a few teams at Kentucky, took Louisville in 2005. Knows how to build a program and knows how to win.
2 minutes to go. Louisville is about as patient as they've been the entire game on this possession. That won't last for long with 6 seconds on the clock. The spin move and the score by Jerry Smith.
Jerry Smith so strong in the first half, and Very nicely done by Earl Clark to get pressure on that three.
Turnover, and Patchett quickly feeds into the offensive end, and Smith will circle as the Louisville fans stand and cheer this team from the Big East. They were 11, check that, 14-4 in Big East competition this year. One of the top teams in the country. They were ranked 13th at season's end, the 4th seed going into the tournament. And with 1:15 to go, they're all but locking up a win as we salute tonight's Chevrolet players of the game. Earl Clark, what a game, double-double for Clark, the sophomore, and Juwan Smith, 12 points and 3 steals. He was solid early, but like so many of the Tennessee Volunteers, there wasn't that one player that stepped up and inspired, matching the largest lead of the game on McGee's 2 free throws.
And Louisville is going to present an awful lot of problems for North Carolina, which with the way they can change defenses, the size they have, the athleticism, it's just a question of how the Cardinals shoot it.
Yeah, the way Clark has played tonight, and then you got the big bodies of Palacios and Character. It's going to be an interesting match on Saturday in the Elite Eight. North Carolina and Louisville, 2 teams that know the way to the Final Four. That's the final foul on Juwan Smith. The senior leaves his last game as a Tennessee Volunteer. 12 points in the game. And how about Western Kentucky? We understand they continue to rally. They're within 5 of UCLA. Bruins led by, I believe, 20 points in that game. Lofton, his final game, the senior from Maysville, Kentucky, he leaves with 15.
Just a great career for Chris Lofton.
Smith hits them both, and Louisville, with 1 minute to go, enjoys its largest lead of the game. Tyler Smith rejected by Clark. Tyler Smith, and he's fouled.
And the last time Louisville won a national championship in 1986, they beat North Carolina on the way to that title.
Volunteers of Bruce Pearl with their winningest season ever, 31 victories for Bruce Pearl. But it wasn't enough for them to get on to the Elite Eight for the first time ever in school history.
Well, the foul trouble hurt Tennessee. The perimeter shooting, the lack of a scorer to step forward. Chris Lofton had a very difficult night, especially in the first half where he didn't have a field goal.
Terrence Williams gets a big hand as he goes out. Williams was all over. 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Tyler Smith with a free throw. Here comes Preston Knowles back in for Louisville. Rick Pitino working this game right down to the final second. He comes in for Jerry Smith. Smith and his backcourt mate starting the game, Andre McGee, 9 points each in the first half that kick-started Louisville to this win. 13 points each as they match their scoring totals. McGee and Smith. But this is the man, Clark, setting up Patchett. Earl Clark, what a game he's had. For those of you that have not seen a lot of Louisville this year, perhaps don't even know the name Earl Clark, but he is some solid player. 17 points, 12 rebounds for Clark. And he picks up that loose ball. Out of bounds to Louisville, and that'll do it. The final 20 seconds of the game will run off in the possession of the Cardinals. Palacios in, and Clark goes out, and the bench stands to applaud this young guy. What a sophomore.
Just getting better and better as a player. And the thing I think Rick Pitino most proud of with Earl Clark, his work ethic continues to get better and better as well. And he's seeing great strides as a player.
Well, a great season for Tennessee. 31 wins. Their best ever comes to an end. But it's all right ahead. Halfway to the championship. Into the Elite Eight. The Louisville Cardinals. They win at 79-60. We go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick Enberg, thank you very much. So Louisville